So we have covered up to factors affecting water erosion. Now today we will start these types or forms of soil erosion. So there are six forms: raindrop erosions, which we call as splash erosions, sheet erosion, internal erosion, rill erosions, gully erosion, a stream bank or stream channel erosion. These all comes in sequence. First, this is splash, then sheet, then internal, then rill, then gully, then a stream bank or stream channel. Stream bank or stream channel is two different things. Okay, we will study, then we will know what is the telling. So let's start first this raindrop erosion. It is the detachment and transportation resulting from the impact of water drop directly on the soil particles. So it is simply saying that it is the soil detachment and transport that is resulting from the impact of raindrop only. No? Directly it will hit the soil particles, then soil particles will detach also and transport also. Tremendous quantities of the soil are splashed in the air, but most particles, uh, more than once they are splashed. The impact of the raindrop compacts and shields the soil surface. Yeah, it will. If raindrop will come, then it will compact this soil surface and also seal this soil surface so that no infiltration. It will reduce the infiltration and more runoff will be there. So more runoff, so more this one erosion. So it's what is happening here. First of all, due to heating action, it will be a splash and a splash and a splash, and it will runoff will also be there because it will not go into infiltration. It will infiltration will be very much less due to this compactness and the sealing of the soil surface. Uh, Now it is observed that the splashed particle can move up to 2 feet in height and 5 feet in lateral, means in the level surface. It is 60 centimeter in height and more than 150 centimeter on lateral surface. Okay, the factors affecting the distance and the direction of the soil splash are, yeah, see these. What are the factors that affect the distance and the direction? The, these are the slope. It may be wind also, and the surface condition, impediments to the slash, such as this means is telling simply that how much slope of the ground and how much wind is there, surface condition is what, and vegetation or mulches are there or not. This all will affect the this splashing. Okay, so if sloping land will be there, then a splash moves further downhill than the uphill. It will not go uphill; it will come downhill, more in downhill. You can see here in uphill it has gone very little, and it is quite obvious that it will come in downhill only, and that's why. But not only because of the soil particles travels further, but also the angle of impact causes the splash reaction to move in a downhill directions. Means it is telling that it is not only due like slope is due to slope, it is coming here, but it is also due to the angle of impact. If wind will be there, then angle of impact will be like this, then it will go like this. Lesser angle of impact, then opposite side will be more erosion. If raindrop fall on vegetation, then energy will be absorbed. This thus splash will be reduced. So vegetation cover if you will provide, then it will be very much better for this raindrop splash erosion. We can control it. Okay, the component of the wind velocity up and down the slope, it will also effect on the movement of the splash. Okay, now the raindrop has four characteristics. First one is raindrop size. It tells that the raindrop can appear up to 5 mm diameter only. Drop size distribution, it tells that each rain is made up of so many drops. All such sizes of the drops are will be there. But it is generally observed that the low intensity rain will have the higher proportion of smaller drops, whereas high intensity rain will have higher proportion of larger drops. Now the terminal velocity. Terminal velocity पे भी depend करेगा raindrop characteristics. But terminal velocity varies if freely rainfall body under the force of the gravity will accelerate, so it will accelerate till this sorry, one interpretation was there. So it was telling that terminal velocity is that velocity when this frictional resistance of air will be balanced by the gravitational force, because if any body is falling freely, there will be gravitational force and one air frictional thrust frictional will be there. If both will be equal, that velocity is called terminal velocity. Means as height increases, the velocity increases, no, but after some time it will attain a constant velocity, that is called the terminal velocity. The velocity of the raindrop is affected by its size, height of fall, wind velocity, and air resistance also. So he is telling that after the height of fall increasing, it drop velocity of the raindrop will increase up to 10.5 meter only. After that, it will attains a constant velocity. That constant velocity will be varies from 4.5 meter per second to 9 meter per second. From 1 mm to 5 mm drop. We have already seen that if a high intensity rain will be there, then lower velocity will be there, because lower size particles will be there. That's why 4.5 for 1 mm and 9 for 5 mm drop. Now the question arises, kinetic energy. Huh? This is the fourth characteristic of the raindrop. Now kinetic energy, it is gained by the falling particles. If any particle is falling, then it will have some velocity. If some velocity will be there, then we already know that kinetic energy is half mv square. If its mass is given and its terminal velocity will be given, then we can calculate this kinetic energy equal to half mv square. But Wissmann and Smith has also given one formula, one equation, that energy will be 0.119 plus 0.087 into 3 sorry 0.119 plus 0.0873 log I to the base 10 for intensity equal to or less than 76 mm per hour. Okay, here energy will be megajoule per hectare per mm and intensity will be mm per hour. If intensity greater than 76, it comes always 283, 0.283. Now the second is the street erosion. After raindrop or splash erosion, it will come the sheet erosion, and the sheet erosion is the removal of fairly uniform layer of the soil from the land surface by the action of rainfall and runoff. It is simply telling that it is the removal of that fairly uniform layer. Getting this fairly uniform layer from the land surface due to the action of rainfall and runoff. This is the important thing. Fairly uniform layer will be okay. This type of erosion, though extremely harmful to the land, it is extremely harmful. It is usually so slow that the farmers not conscious of its existence. We cannot means we will not know that it is happening or not. Extremely harmful. It is common on the land having gentle slope. If gentle slope will be there, it will be common, very much common. It results in uniform skimming of creams. Yeah, it is same like that uniform skimming of the slip of the topsoil with every heavy rain. The eroding and transporting power of the sheet flow is uniform. The eroding and transporting power of the sheet flow is the function of rainfall intensity, infiltration rate, and the field slope for a given size, shape, and density of the soil particle aggregates. मीन्स ये बोल रहा है कि how much it will erode and how much it will transport, means sheet erosion will be function of rainfall intensity, how much intensity is, and how much infiltration is going, and how much field slope is there for the given size, shape, and density. Now, interreel erosion. The splash and sheet erosion are sometimes combinedly called as interreel erosions. Splash and sheet erosion. Okay. Now, reel erosion. It is the advanced stage of the sheet erosion. If the removal of the soil by concentrated flow of the water with the formation of the series of small shallow branching shallow, ना मतलब कि उसी का ये एडवांस फॉर्म है. What will happen if it will sheet erosion? We will not control the sheet erosion. Then what will happen? Removal of soil by concentrated flow of the water with the formation of series of small shallow branching channels. When there is a concentration of the runoff water, a reel develops, which if neglected grows into large gully. Sheet erosion will converted into reels, and it will again, if we will not control, then it will converted into gullies. It is more serious in soil having a loose shallow topsoil. It will be very much serious for this one. Loose shallow topsoil will be there, then it will be easily sheet erosion will be there, and easily reels formation will be there. It may be regarded as the transmission stage between the sheet and the gully erosions. Between the sheet and gully erosion, it is the transmission stage. Reels are small enough to be covered or smoothed by the normal tillage operations. So it's featuring that it is, these are small enough to recovered and smoothed by the normal tillage operation. So we can remove these. But if we will not remove, then what will happen? See here, gully will be formed, and this gully is the advanced stage of the that reed erosion only. It is the removal of the soil by excessive concentration of the running water, resulting in the formation of channels ranging from 30 centimeter to 10 meter. Even it can be more than the 10 meter also. So see, this is the very much harmful. That if we will control the sheet erosion, then we will not get any real erosion. But after real erosion also we can, this normal tillage we can control. But if we will leave left, then it will be very much big problem. 30 centimeter to 10 meter channels will be formation. At the point when the kinetic energy gained by the flowing water is enough to dislodge the soil particles, it starts eroding the land surface also. Means if kinetic energy will gain the enough flowing water, then it will dislodge the soil particles, and it will start the eroding the land surface also. Cattle paths or footpaths, cart tracks, dead or tillage furrows, or other small depressions being neglected could result in the gullies. Okay. So distinction between ravines, gullies, and rills is that of size only. A gully cannot be smoothed by normal tillage operations. Okay, it cannot be smoothed by normal tillage operations, but a ravine are a form of extensive network of deep and narrow gullies. Ravine is very much bigger than the, means if a gully will be deep and narrow, then it will be a ravine only. Okay. The rate of the gully erosion depends mainly upon the runoff producing characteristic. Whatever the characteristics of watershed are there which are producing the runoff, on which the gully erosion will depend. Runoff is the main characteristic for the area. Maybe the watershed area, soil characteristics, agglomerator or size, shape of the gullies and slope of the gully bed, whatever it is. Now see the principles of gully erosions or the process of the gully development. The main process of the gully development are channel erosions and the waterfall erosion. These are the process of the two processes are happens in gully erosion. Channel erosion is simply the scoring of the bottom and side or enlargement of the depth and width. Means it will scores only channel, no, scores only channel, but this will be extension of the gully head. Gully head will extend. See what is it will be very much clear if we will study. See here what is telling. This process includes the scoring of the bottom and sides of the gullies. A scoring of bottom and sides of the gully, causable flowing water through the gully air, the raindrop splash on the exposed gully side. Okay, now you got it. It also includes slides or mass movement of the soil into the gully. Slides or mass movement of the soil into the gullies. As the scoring continues, the gully becomes longer and deeper and wider. This is the only he is trying to telling. As scoring continues, then it will be very much longer, deeper and wider. So length will also increase, deeper and so it will score the bottom and side enlargement and depth. So the rate at which the gully deepens is very rapid on the upper part of the areas, whereas the slope are comparatively steep. He is telling that the rate of deepening will be very rapid on the upper part, where the slope will be steep. Now see what is waterfall erosion or head cutting up at the gully head. The water falling over the edge of the gully or a bank of a ditch form, it will form deep and rapidly extending gullies. Due to the waterfall, it will form deep and extending gully. The falling water undermines the edge of bank, which caves in, and the gully head gradually progress towards the upstream side. Means upstream side में gully head will increase. Okay, now there are 4 stages of the gully development: formation or initiation stage, development stage, healing stage, and stabilization stage. Formation or initiation stage is during this stage channel erosions and deepening of the gully bed takes place. Okay, in this stage what is happening is channel erosion or deepening of the gully is taking place, not head. Okay, the rate of the development at this stage depend upon the topsoil पे depend करेगा इसका head. In development stage it consists of the upstream movement of the gully head. Okay, this is the gully head and the enlargement of the gully width and the depth. Gully width and depth enlargement. Okay, this is the channel erosions and depending upon the gully bed. Channel erosion, this was a development is the gully head. During this stage, major formation of and erosion of the gully takes place. Major formation will take place in this development stage only. Healing stage, during this stage, there is no appreciable erosions of the gully in any form. Local vegetation begins to grow in the gully and healing. So what will happen? Only local vegetation begins to grow in the gully and healing process of the gully start. Stabilization stage, during this stage, gully will gets fully stabilized and the gully beds attains a stable gradient and gully walls reaches a stable slope. The vegetation cover spread over the gully surface because healing stage stage we have already now covered. After that will be the stabilization stage. There is no further development of the gully unless healing process is disturbed. So in Sikkim, in our college campus, that we have already seen, that was stabilization stage only. So during last two stages, the gully heads progress to upper end of the watershed, and the rate of the runoff into the gully head becomes very less due to reduction in the drainage area. The remaining portion of the runoff enters at the different points along the length of the gully. Okay. Now the classification of the gully we will see later on. Thank you.